Welcome to our July 2026 School Board reflection entitled Harmony or Silence. It's for use in councils and boards of schools who value or connect to the characteristics of the Uniting Church or who are just exploring them. So, why this reflection? Most boards would hope for some sense of harmony, yet harmony and silence are not always the same thing. Over time, certain subjects can become strangely difficult to discuss, while disagreements that are really about competing values can start to feel personal. At the same time, quieter members may slowly contribute less and less, with the result that what appears to be agreement may simply reflect caution, exhaustion, or a sense that there's little point in speaking. Healthy governance doesn't depend on avoiding tension. It may depend on learning how to remain curious and relational when tension appears, and on recognising that disagreement's not always a sign that something's gone wrong. So, what's the story this month we're riffing off? And again, it's one that many Uniting Church communities of faith are hearing in July. In the account of the Gospel according to the community of Matthew, Jesus tells a parable about wheat and weeds growing together in the same field. The servants notice the weeds and immediately want to act. They ask whether they should pull them up. The landowner urges patience, warning that acting too quickly may damage the wheat as well. It's an interesting story because it resists the desire for immediate clarity, something we often seem to crave. Rather than separating everything neatly, the parable acknowledges that living communities are often more complicated than we would prefer. Rushing towards certainty can sometimes create new problems. School boards recognise something of that complexity. Certain matters seem to return repeatedly without ever being fully explored. Now, a board chair noticing that pattern might simply ask, "This issue seems to come regularly. What are we finding difficult about it?" Sometimes the difficulty or the possibility of difficulty is itself a step forward. Where else might this idea show up in other traditions and contexts? Well, a somewhat similar instinct appears in Sikh traditions through the idea of Chadi Kal, a hopeful resilience that persists even in difficult circumstances. Challenges are acknowledged rather than denied, but they're not allowed to define the life of the community. Bahá'í traditions approach disagreements through the practice of consultation, which encourages participants to hold their own views lightly and to seek the well-being of the whole rather than the victory of a particular position. The aim is not uniformity, but a deeper truth that emerges through conversation. Both of these traditions suggest that disagreement and relationship need not be enemies. So, again, what might this mean for school boards? Disagreements that appear personal are sometimes rooted in differing values. One member may be concerned about financial sustainability, while another is trying to protect culture, well-being, or pastoral care. In those situations, it may be more helpful to ask what each person is seeking to preserve than to decide too quickly who is right. Likewise, apparent harmony may not always mean everyone feels heard. Some chairs deliberately pause before decisions and ask whether enough space is being created for those who have not yet spoken, or invite written reflections afterwards for members who think more carefully once the meeting's ended. One Uniting Church characteristic speaks strongly into this space. It's the one that says we courageously elevate difficult subjects and evolve responses. Perhaps courage in governance is not always expressed through decisive action. Sometimes it's found in creating enough trust, difficult matters can be discussed honestly, and enough patience that responses are allowed to mature over time. So, as always, a few questions to sit with, not for immediate answers, but perhaps to travel with us through the meeting. What subjects do we never seem able to discuss openly? Which disagreements are actually about values rather than personalities? quieter members experience harmony or silence? And where might patience and curiosity serve this board better than a quick resolution?